It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Finance Daily, episode 591, One Important Question to Ask Before Any Purchase, and Your Biggest Expense is Your Greatest Opportunity, both by Joshua Becker of BecomingMinimalist.com. And I'm Dan, your host here on the show. This is where I read to you from some of the best blogs on personal finance. I bring you articles from Mr. Money Mustache, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Get Rich Slowly, Budgets Are Sexy, and many more, sort of like a gigantic ongoing audiobook that is totally free of charge. Today we've got two posts, both of them coming from Joshua Becker, a well-known minimalist. He is typically narrated on Optimal Living Daily, so if you like this episode, you can check out a lot more content from Joshua over there. But before we get to his posts, hiring is challenging, but there's one place you can go where hiring is simple and smart. That place is ZipRecruiter, where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/OFD. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Now let's get to our two posts for today and start optimizing your life. One Important Question to Ask Before Any Purchase by Joshua Becker of BecomingMinimalist.com. We live in a world filled with empty consumeristic promises. To get the girl, buy this cologne. To be the life of the party, get this television. To impress your friends, buy this watch. To turn heads, drive this car. To raise a better family, buy this bigger house. These promises bombard our senses incessantly, even within the comforts of our home. And more than we realize, these messages begin to shape our conscious and subconscious thoughts. As a result, too often we buy stuff we don't need. Our closets become crowded, our drawers overfill, our garages can't fit our cars, and our homes fill with countless products we thought were a good idea at the time, but in reality rarely got used. Our lives soon become buried under everything we own. To counter these empty promises, I want to offer a simple, life-transforming question. 5 simple words to ask before making any purchase. The question is this: but what if I don't? Whenever you feel the pull of consumerism, simply ask yourself the shortened version of this thought. What might I be able to do if I didn't make this purchase? Every purchase contains an opportunity cost. The question, but what if I don't, forces us to recognize and articulate it. For example, if you don't buy that large screen television, how much debt could you pay off? If you don't buy the bigger house, how much more money would you have to travel? If you don't go clothes shopping today, how could you build up an emergency fund? If you don't make this purchase on Amazon, what good could you accomplish in the world with the money instead? You know what you've been promised if you buy, but what if you don't? How would your life improve if you said no? With every purchase we make, we sacrifice a small amount of freedom. This one simple question helps us recognize exactly what it is. And I will have another post for you from Joshua in just a moment. But first, a big thank you once again to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring this episode. Hiring used to be hard. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, a confusing review process. But today, hiring can be easy, and you only have to go to one place to get it done: ZipRecruiter.com/OFD. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invite them to apply to your job. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates, so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. With results like that, it's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the highest-rated hiring site in America. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address: ZipRecruiter.com/OFD. That's ZipRecruiter.com/OFD. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Your Biggest Expense is Your Greatest Opportunity by Joshua Becker of BecomingMinimalist.com. Quote, "Your home is living space, not storage space." Francine J. Recently, the New York Times referred to our generation as the most stressed, tired, and rushed generation of all time. A portrait of the modern family is how the author chose to title the article. She is, of course, correct. We are tired, stressed, and busy. In the article, the author cites a number of reasons why this is the case. Public policy, workplace structure, unrealistic expectations, just to name a few. Around the time that article was being published, a different kind of report was being produced, the 2014 U.S. Department of Commerce Report on New Housing, an annual study surveying the size and cost of new homes being built. I couldn't help but wonder if there might be a significant correlation between the two. Certainly, there is a direct link with the number of possessions we own and the stress we experience. Every increased possession adds increased anxiety into our lives. There is a direct relationship also with excess possessions and an overall lack of time, energy, and focus. The 763-page study on the homes we live in confirms what most Becoming Minimalist readers already know to be true. We own too much stuff, and yet rather than getting rid of it, we just build bigger homes to store it all. Here are some findings from that 2014 report and other related sources. In 2014, the average size of new homes built increased to an all-time high of 2,690 square feet. In 2015, the average grew another 30 square feet to 2,720. While our houses have gotten bigger, our families have gotten smaller. Because of these two factors, since 1973, average living space per American person has doubled. The growth in square footage of new homes has wiped out nearly all the efficiency gains. In other words, though energy efficiency has developed rapidly, we've increased our home size to the point that we're still using almost the exact same amount of energy. As would be expected, housing costs have risen alongside square footage. In the U.S., the existing home median sale price is $210,800, up from $154,600 in January 2012. Housing expenses, all totaled, accounted for more than 33% of the average consumer's total expenditures during 2014. And renters aren't doing much better. In fact, it's the worst time in 36 years to be a renter in America. The median rent nationwide now takes up 30.2% of the median American's income, the highest cost burden recorded since tracking began in 1979. Meanwhile, Americans aren't even building the largest homes in the world. Australia holds that honor. They are even filming television shows about it. The US, Canada, Denmark, and France round out the top 5 for largest home sizes in the world. Our homes continue to increase in size, cost, and responsibility. Our biggest investment has become an ever-increasing drain on our resources. But this doesn't need to be the case. Your biggest investment also represents your greatest opportunity. Consider the benefits of living in a smaller home. Less expense, less worry, less upkeep. More time, more money, more freedom, and more opportunity. When we first began pursuing minimalism, we made a lot of changes in our home. We removed the excess from every room in our house. But when we began removing entire rooms from our home, we started to experience even more significant benefits. 4 years ago, we intentionally decided to buy a smaller house. Our mortgage payments were sliced in half. Our insurance and taxes were also lowered. Our energy bills were slashed. Our ongoing repair and maintenance is a fraction of the expense it was before, and our cleaning responsibilities are noticeably easier. Recently, I was asked by a friend how we are able to make ends meet financially while still doing a fair bit of traveling as a family. My answer immediately centered on our decision to minimize, not just our possessions, but our home as well. I told them, when the rest of the world was building bigger and bigger, we decided to buy smaller. And that decision has freed us to do many wonderful things. Choosing to buy a smaller house is a decision I have never regretted. Likely, neither will you. You just listened to the posts titled "One Important Question to Ask Before Any Purchase" and "Your Biggest Expense is Your Greatest Opportunity," both by Joshua Becker of BecomingMinimalist.com. And that should do it for today. Thanks so much for being here and listening every day. I will see you in the Tuesday show tomorrow, where we'll hear from Michelle of Making Sense of Sense. So I'll see you there, where your optimal life awaits.